I feel like fast food is crazy, crazy, crazy expensive now. Why they're panicking over higher prices? They should be. It's been a while. They need to be panicking. They better be fucking panicking. It's so expensive now. I don't even want to go anymore.
There's been a lot of talk online and in the news about how much fast food prices have gone up over the recent years.
Ridiculous.
Once home to the dollar menu, prices at the Golden Arches leaving a bad taste in the mouth of consumers
Look
who
at that,
just want value.
$10.
Some restaurants are continuing with price hikes, while others are getting desperate with attempts to offer more deals in hopes of increasing traffic.
Restaurants don't cut prices for fun. Did consumers essentially force your hand by being fed up?
Customers are telling us that they're really stretched.
Now, we all know inflation has been rampant since the beginning of 2020 when the pandemic happened.
This is nuts.
Grocery prices, in some cases, are falling. Fast food prices are rising, and these CEOs, they know it. They're hearing these complaints.
But what's really going on here? I mean, are fast food companies trying to pull a fast one on us, price gouging under the cover of inflation?
Fast food places in general, y'all better watch your goddamn ass.
Is this just plain old corporate greed like many have claimed?
He's right.
Who told y'all was that good to be charging that much for y'all food?
Or is there
True, it's not that good.
more to this story?
Fast food used to mean inexpensive.
Going viral,
Don't waste
the Big
your
Mac
money.
meal priced at $18 at a Connecticut rest stop.
Well, in this video, I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it.
Oh my
Wikipedia
god.
defines price gouging as a pejorative term
Fast
used
food
to refer
blows?
to the
Yeah.
practice of increasing the prices
Seems
of
that
goods,
way.
services, or commodities to a level much higher than is considered reasonable or fair by
Yeah.
some. This commonly applies to the price increases of basic necessities after natural disasters. Usually, this event occurs after a demand or supply shock, like, say, a global
COVID.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Harvard Business School says there's no rule for what qualifies as price gouging, but it's not an uncommon occurrence. For example, EpiPen costs and Uber price surges are both examples of price increases that have been considered unfair. But what's the difference between...
I think this is completely a total, like, you cannot compare using a Uber app to insulin or like medical supplies. These are two totally different things.
between price gouging and inflation? While price gouging is often the result of a business
Life-saving
decision,
device, yeah.
inflation is a general increase in the prices of goods and services over time and is directly impacted by the market. And while 40 states across the country have laws in place to ban price gouging,
See, they need to make a law that says that McDonald's can't charge more than $3 for a hamburger. That's the problem. Like, it's ridiculous. And if you buy, if you buy a fast food meal, it can't be more than like $15.
there's
Zach, come on,
currently
no,
no federal
really?
price gouging prohibition.
Come on.
And this makes it a difficult thing to enforce
Oh, look who
because
it
so many
is.
supply chains are nationwide. And as a
Yeah.
result, states face heightened challenges when trying to protect consumers from price gouging. So in my opinion, price gouging is a rather nebulous concept. It often lacks clear-cut depictions, and it's not only a practical question, but also a moral one. However, with this fast food
Listen,
dilemma...
it's not immoral for McDonald's to charge a lot of money for a McDouble. It's just annoying. It's annoying and it makes me mad. That's all.
It's not just about high prices here. It's also about prices that seem disconnected from costs and the actual products themselves. So whether specific fast food companies have engaged in price gouging is up for debate. What certainly
They
isn't
have.
is how much prices have increased over the years.
Yeah.
And the real question then becomes, is it justified?
No.
Finance Buzz released a staggering report on fast food prices over the last
Ridiculous.
decade, and it showed some very interesting stats, claiming McDonald's is king when it comes to
It's
price hikes
fucking ridiculous.
over the years, citing a 100%
Yeah.
increase to their prices from 2014.
I went to Popeyes the other day and it was $21 for me. I got a 4-piece tenders meal, a large drink with large mashed potatoes and gravy and Cajun fries. $21.
2024. Now, to understand how we got here, let's just rewind for a second. Fast food in its early days was built on two core promises: speed and affordability. Now, with its initial success, it really started to become a symbol of American culture.
Yeah, of course.
What the food may have lacked in quality, it ultimately made up with cheaper prices
Look.
and the convenience of getting it quick.
The 6 piece. This year. This video is probably taken in like 2017. Like, I'm joking, but like this is probably taken realistically 2005. Like, I feel like this is about 2005 prices, maybe 2000. Like, yeah, it's somewhere around there. 90s? Nah, bro. Nah.
However, today, the same can't be said. It's not breaking news, but fast food is rarely fast anymore. It's becoming pretty expensive for what the quality is. Now, over the last 2 decades, rising costs have hit the industry hard.
Bullshit.
Real estate prices, minimum wage increases, and supply chain inefficiency.
Bullshit. Not in Texas. There's no minimum wage increase. It's still $7.
Started driving up costs. Add to that the increase in costs of beef, chicken, potatoes, along with paper products, and suddenly the simple cheap burger wasn't so cheap to make anymore.
Fake.
These changes laid the groundwork for the price hikes that we're seeing today, but they only tell part of the story. What's happening now feels different, like something has fundamentally shifted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you put her on, please?
Dude, this is a Wendy's restaurant.
Damn it, Kevin. Okay.
But I have to keep it real. It's not just the rise in costs that are part of doing business. It's also factors like increases to advertising spend, ballooning executive compensation packages,
13.
along with significant investments into technology.
Wait, and he can work remotely. So this guy doesn't even have to show up and he gets $113 million? And this is it's Starbucks. Yeah, of course. They probably sold, what 50 drinks to make that much money? They need to have, Trump needs to get me to be like the fast food czar. Like, I'll sort this out so fast. Like, what I would do is I would go to every fast food restaurant and I would order the food and I would compare it to the photos. And if it's not the same, they get sued for false advertising and somebody from the company has to go to jail. They get to decide who it is. If they want to have the janitor go to jail, that's fine. But actually we'll do it random. Everybody gets to draw straws and the person that gets the short straw goes to jail. That's right. That way it's fair. And with all the executive leadership, because we don't know exactly, random board member. We don't know exactly whose fault it is, so we're just going to have to guess. It's equality. Yeah, that's fair. And so that would be a good start.
Compensation packages, along with significant investments into technology, like mobile apps for these companies. Oh, and of course, stock buybacks, returning billions of dollars to shareholders. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some of the numbers. According to the Federal Reserve's economic data, food away from home, which is the category that includes fast food, this rose roughly 28.5% over the last 5 years. But general overall inflation rose only 24%.
That's the thing is, after COVID, this is what happened. COVID gave them an excuse to raise prices massively, and then they never went down. That's what happened with all of these fast food restaurants.
Now, at a first glance, these price hikes might seem like a logical reaction to the rising costs of inflation. But let's dig a bit deeper. While the cost of doing business has increased, profit margins at many major chains have held steady or even grown. Take McDonald's, for instance. Despite facing higher expenses, their operating margins climbed to nearly 46% in 2023.
That's insane.
Up from around 41% in 2019. Now, that's not just covering costs, that's thriving. And if you don't think operating margin is the best indicator to decide this, let's look at their net profit margin.
Look at this.
It's gone up from 28% right before the pandemic hit.
28? That's disgusting. Look at this.
Way up to over 33%.
Don't. It's not because of the war in Ukraine or Gaza that fucking Taco Bell got rid of 5-layer nachos. It's nothing to fucking do with it. Don't blame Ukraine on this.
2024. Now, this has led McDonald's to begin to take some drastic measures to try to convince customers they not only aren't being greedy, but also that they still can provide value with their menu.
Bullshit.
But more on that in a moment. This pattern isn't unique to McDonald's, though. Chipotle has reported record revenues fueled by menu price increases of nearly...
Chipotle's really good. Chipotle's fine. There's nothing... Chipotle doesn't do anything wrong. But actually, that's not true. They need to have better meat quality. But other than that, yeah, Chipotle's great. Big fan of Chipotle. Chipotle all the time. It's the other... Well, yeah, people get E. coli and they get sick. But that's... whatever, right?
15% over the last 2 years. In fact, during the making of this video, they just announced another 2% price increase to their menu, which brings the total number of price hikes to 7 times since 2021. And Chipotle technically isn't fast food and is more in the category of fast casual dining, but they still are a part of that food away from home stat that I provided from the Federal Reserve.
It's different. It's different.
And so we can still learn a lot about their recent financial performance over the years. Chipotle's net margin is higher now than ever before.
And you compared this to McDonald's. McDonald's was more than twice as much as this. See this? They're at 10%. This is like a lot of companies have between like an 8 and 12% operational margin. This is normal. But it's McDonald's that's the bad one. 10% is fair. Yeah, they're making 10%. That's nothing.
Has been steadily climbing since the pandemic.
Hardly.
However, the margins did tank before the pandemic due to foodborne illness issues the company was facing.
It's fake.
But if
It's
we
made
also
up by
look at their
McDonald's.
revenue and net income, that has also been rising steadily since the last quarter of 2020. And here's the kicker. Chipotle's former CEO, Brian Niccol, earned over 17
That's not fair, though, because no. Chipotle, it's different. So with Chipotle, they're still growing as a business and they're opening more new stores. So their operating income is going to go up because they have more places to grow because they haven't hit a market cap yet. Whereas McDonald's hit a market cap 50 fucking years ago. So there's a total, like you can't look at total net revenue. You have to look at what the operating margin is. Because if you're making 150 million versus 50 million at the same net revenue, that's the real fucking conversation. $20 million. That's not even that. No. I'm not sponsored by Chipotle. Like I'm not. I eat Chipotle at least 3 times a week, and I don't want to hear this. This is bullshit. It's McDonald's and Taco Bell that are wrong. Chipotle's fine.
million in 2022 and over
No, I don't have
22
stock
million
in
in
them.
2023, including significant bonuses tied to the company's profitability. This is
Oh.
over 1,300 times the median pay of a Chipotle worker. Now, whether you think the CEO is worth 1,300 times the average worker or not, it's clear that they are making more money now than ever before.
They are.
And Chipotle also just announced in July that they were authorizing a $400 million stock buyback program.
Wow.
Essentially funneling excess cash back to shareholders instead of, I don't know, reinvesting it into operations or finding out ways to keep prices stable. Additionally, Yum Brands, which owns Taco Bell,
This is...
KFC, and Pizza Hut, instituted price hikes in 2023 and cited that it was a last resort option
Bullshit. You've been doing that for years.
later
They're
that
lying.
year clocking in a 21% increase in total revenue
Look at this.
over its
Look at
pre-pandemic
this. This is
earnings.
insane.
Now, since then, executives at the company have authorized a $2 billion share repurchase program, returning $678 million to its shareholders. Now, there's no secret here that greater amounts of capital are being redirected to corporate level costs, such as C-level executive compensation. Now, critics argue that inflation has become a convenient excuse for these price hikes.
True.
Yes, labor and ingredient costs are up, but why are executive salaries soaring at the same time? Why are companies...
Because they're soaring with the price of the company, because their salary is part of the equity that they're given in the company, and that's the compensation package. They're not paying the guy a big bag of $200 or $20 million. They're paying him with a stock package. That's the reason why he's getting a lot of money.
increasing ad budgets and launching multi-million-dollar stock buybacks
That
while
is
citing
totally different.
higher costs as the reason for passing price increases onto consumers. Now, in some cases, the numbers suggest these companies are taking advantage of inflationary pressures to pad their profits.
100%.
In fact, a recent analysis
Especially
from the
McDonald's.
Economic Policy Institute found that corporate profits accounted for over 40% of price increases across several industries during the pandemic recovery period. Now, while fast food isn't singled out in this analysis, it does seem to fit into this broader.
Think about it's going to be the worst one. So it's more than 40%. Because if you're looking at all of the different food, and then fast food is the worst offender, then you would have to logically assume, and that the other prices, like Applebee's hasn't gone up that much. Chili's somehow is fucking cheaper. So it's actually fast food is probably 60 or 70%.
Trend. This narrative has led to a huge disconnect from corporations to their consumers, particularly around their pricing and the value propositions they offer.
True.
But the interesting thing here is some of these companies are faring much better than others. Chipotle, for example, is continuing to grow in spite of their price hikes.
Because they haven't reached market saturation for having enough stores in an entire nation. They're not worldwide like McDonald's. So in 20 years, 30 years, Chipotle is going to have the same problem. They're growing because they're a new company and they have room to grow. But McDonald's and Taco Bell doesn't have that same room because they've already had a hegemony over fast food for 50 years. It's totally different. Easy excuse. No. It's a fact. This is a fact. You're defending this bullshit? No. What do you mean I'm defending this bullshit? Their profit margins are at like 10 to 15%. McDonald's is at 30. So how the fuck am I defending it? No. They're growing. How many stores? Look. There's 3,000 Chipotle. There's 13,000 McDonald's. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. Bro really likes Chipotle. I'm not a Chipotle stockholder. This is an objective fact that their net revenue is going to go up because their business is still in the phase of growth and the product is good that people are buying it. I'm not a stockholder. I eat there all the time. I know this.
Also historically haven't offered any sort of value meal. While restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and others are all trying to entice customers by trying to add more value deals.
They're lying. They're not value. See, it used to be the dollar menu, and then it was the value menu, and then they got rid of it.
But of course, fast food chains have their side of the story too. They argue
their side, which is lying and wasting people's fucking money, and then advertising products that you look at the Taco Bell drive-thru, and it looks one way. You get the product, it's not the same thing.
These price hikes are a necessity, not some evil choice. And their executives have pointed to some real pressures.
They're using AI at the drive-thru at Taco Bell now. They keep getting my order right. This used to never happen. Never. They would never get my order right. Now they always get it right. It's AI. Guaranteed.
Rising wages, volatile supply chains, and of course inflation as reasons why fast food just isn't as cheap as it used to be. Now, back in May of 2024, social media posts about an $18 Big Mac meal went so viral that McDonald's actually had to begin a campaign trying to debunk some of the myths that were being spread about
you're going to debunk your own menu.
Prices. Remember this graph from earlier? Yeah, well, McDonald's disagrees with a lot of it.
I bet they do. 40. You said 46% profit margin? What a joke.
What's behind this is that while data on its own is rather objective, the the way in which data can be presented often is very subjective.
That's true.
Including this video here.
Great point.
However, in their blog post, McDonald's cited bits of information from the article labeling them as myths.
Was this
in their blog post, McDonald's cited...
McDonald's raised prices. False. McDonald's overall 5-year increases are closely connected to the increase of to-run restaurants, which have gone up. No, that's not true, because then the other restaurants haven't gone up that much. That's fake. McDonald's raised prices so much that every menu prices increased more than 3 times. Well, this is, see, they're just trying, this is, okay, so look at this. They're just trying to fit, this is like, you need to write a 500-word essay, so like you're just writing bullshit. This is the same question. McDonald's price increases are the result of greed and price gouging. Restaurant margins are largely the same as they were in 2019. What about 2015, though? What about that, 2019? So yeah, interesting you use the frame of reference right before you pumped up all the prices. So you go and you say that they're moving the goalpost. So no, look at it. See, it was down here. This is an operating margin. This means if they make $1, they're getting 30 cents back on that fucking dollar. This is insane. 10 years ago, shit changes. It's a percentage. This is different. They're lying. McDonald's Big Mac meal has increased in price. See, this is what they're doing. They're using 2019 as a reference point because that's when they began doing this. But if they had to use 2018 or 17, all of these myths would have been reality. That's what they're doing. Come on, man. You think chat doesn't know percentages? Yes.
McDonald's cited bits of information from the article labeling
10-piece McNuggets meal has increased in price by 95.5%. No, but it's increased by like 50%. Everything is based off of 2019 because that's when they started doing this.
as myths, like, quote, McDonald's raised prices at a rate nearly double the national rate of inflation. And over in their fact, that over the last 5 years, prices have increased around 40% due to higher input costs such as salaries, food, and paper products. And while that may be very well true, the article cites McDonald's menu prices have doubled 100% since 2014 across popular items, the highest of any chain we analyzed. But okay, let's just assume McDonald's was confused on this.
No, they're selectively using data that is deliberate misrepresentation.
And they cited from 2019 on as opposed to what the article says, which is 2014. So what about another myth? Well, once again, McDonald's cites the article quoting, McDonald's medium fries have increased by 138% since 2019. But McDonald's claims the truth is the average price of a medium fry in 2019 was $2.29, and now in 2024, the average price is $3.29. Okay, well, the article actually says that the 138% increase is from 2014 to 20.
See, I fucking knew it. I knew they were lying. See, this is it. See, they're using 2019 as a frame of reference because in 2014 it was way less. This is it. See, they're looking. They're a private company. They can do what they want. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Okay, to be fair, I do actually have 2 McDonald's drinks within arm's reach of me. So I was going to say that I have, but I actually haven't. I still go to McDonald's. But why are you defending this bullshit? This is ridiculous. Do we need to go back to the fucking operating margin again about this? Was it 46% operating margin? I'm pretty sure the fucking cartels are lower than that. You have a worse operating margin selling cocaine. This is insane. Stop being a dick eater.
2024, not 2019. Now, I could go on.
And a McFlurry, see, a McFlurry, whenever they came out, it was like $1.30 or $1.70. I remember this because I asked my mom for one. She said, no, I'll only get you an ice cream cone because McFlurries are overpriced. And I cried at the McDonald's lobby. I remember this. I was like 5 years old or 4 years old or something. And this is right whenever they add McFlurries. And I was sitting there crying. It was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. And now they're $5 fucking dollars. $4.40. And by the way, this is the small. There's no reason for this. And it doesn't, and the machine doesn't even work half the time.
Now, I could go on, but I think you're starting to get the point. Okay, but there are some who argue that rising wages are really the one to blame for
Lying again. Lying again. That's not even true. McDonald's is paying the same, the minimum wage in Texas. It's been the same since 2009. They're
new prices.
McDonald's
claiming
is
this trend of increased minimum wage could lead to job losses and widespread
fucking no
restaurant closures. However, the evidence suggests otherwise. Economists at the Economic Policy Institute have extensively researched this issue and found that higher wages would likely have the opposite effect, modestly stimulating consumer demand, boosting business activity, and creating job growth. Okay, but what about fast food prices? Are they rising because of higher wages?
No, that's not the reason why. No. Don't let them turn us against each other. No. They're doing it because they have a 40% plus operating margin.
Well, yes, but not entirely for the reasons you might think. Price increases in the fast food industry are part of a long-standing trend, not a sudden phenomenon caused by wage hikes. Because while the consumer price index for all items rose by 3.2% between April 2022 and April 2023, fast food prices surged 5.2%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Meanwhile, the cost of groceries increased by only 1% during that time. But that was then, and this is now, and fast food has been getting desperate over the last year. McDonald's has had to really try to entice customers with their nationwide $5 value meal. And many
So, this is bullshit. So, this used to, the original dollar menu, this was the value fries. This was, and any drink used to be $1 at McDonald's. These burgers right here, this was a cheeseburger. This could have been a McDouble as well. Also, if you look at the size of a McNugget, it's about this big, right? So you're looking at burgers that are about this big. This is like White Castle level burger size. It's tiny. And so, yeah, you had $1. So this used to be $4. So even their big deal right now used to be like in 2017, 2018, not 2019, where they like to use as a reference. It used to be $1 cheaper, and it was all the time.
And many competitors have followed suit. Burger King offered their $5.
And also, if you look at this soda here, that drink cup is a 20-ounce drink cup. I know that because I have them. And a large drink, so at McDonald's, there are 3 different sizes of drinks. There's small, which is a 16-ounce, or I think it's 12. And then there's a 20-ounce, which is medium. And then large is 32-ounce. And so they're showing a medium drink. And so you used to be able to also get a large drink for $1. It's 30 ounces now? No way. No, it's not. Let me read it. those right there, this was a 32-ounce drink. And now it's 30. Because they used to say on the drink that it was 32 ounces. And they took it off. Medium, large. So this was always how it was at every place. Medium was 20 or 21 ounces. Large was 32 ounces. And extra large was 44 ounces for a drink. For my whole life, that's how it's been. McDonald's changed it. And now it's 30. And they doubled the fucking price. Do you remember McDonald's drinks used to be $1? They were $1 for any size drink. Okay, see, now we all remember that. So they doubled the price. They lowered the amount of soda. And they want to call this a myth. They think we're fucking stupid.
Meal, Wendy's did a $4 meal deal, and Taco Bell launched a $3 value deal, all in an attempt to increase traffic to their stores. Now, it's clear they have a real problem on their hands, not only in terms of general sentiment around their value propositions, but also in regards to pricing. But fast food companies also have to reckon with fast casual offerings eating away at their market share. Chipotle, Cava, and Sweetgreen have all reported a much different outlook on this matter. And while yes, they typically attract a higher income cohort, it's not only them that are buying these products. Cava, the Mediterranean chain, only raised prices 12% from 2019 to 2023. And as a result, they reported increases to their top and bottom lines. Now, of course, they have a much smaller footprint than McDonald's, but when that Big Mac is contesting the prices of some of these fast casual offerings, it seems like an inevitable shift is bound to occur here. And even casual sit-down restaurants like Applebee's and Chili's are getting involved into this value war. Chili's 3 for me meal deal for $10.99 has created...
Listen, hear that again.
...into this value war. Chili's 3 for me meal deal for $10.99...
That is crazy. 3 things for $10.99.
...has created a resurgence in traffic to
Look at that.
Restaurants, resulting in their foot traffic soaring 33%, which capped off 6 straight months of increases. So are the higher prices just the costs of doing business? I don't see how one could come to that conclusion with how much profits have increased over the last 5 years for most of these chains. To me, this does seem like some good old-fashioned corporate greed, masked in layers of manipulation and excuses.
McDonald's is lying about everything, and so is Taco Bell, and Wendy's is almost as bad. KFC... I used to be able to go to KFC with my mom, and we would get a 20-piece bucket. And do you remember... So you used to be able to get the big boys, right? And you could get... I would get one, and my mom would get one. And they were so big that you would have a handle on it. Remember that? And we would get the whole thing for $20. That's a bucket of soda. Yes. Yes. It's $20. I looked at it recently. It was like $42 just for a bucket. Don't talk negatively about Taco Bell, please. Say what you want at McDonald's, but take Taco Bell out of this. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to speak negatively about the company that had an active lawsuit against them for false advertising because of how big of a difference it was between the food that was advertised on the menu and the thing that the user got. Oh yeah, but no, let's not say anything bad about Taco Bell, guys. And you know what? I went to Taco Bell about a week ago. They didn't even ask me what kind of sauce I wanted. You used to be able to get frijoles or like pintos and cheese, and they would give you a taco shell to dip it in. And then in about 2010 or 2012, they stopped giving you the taco shell and they started charging you money for it.
And now for fast food places like McDonald's,
I remember
Burger King,
this.
and others, customers not only have to battle with higher prices, but also with the lack of convenience and quality of the food itself. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, infinite growth is the goal. And the fiduciary duty to shareholders comes before customers, employees, suppliers, or
What
vendors.
a bunch of dick
But it
eaters.
is really interesting to see how some companies simply choose to operate differently while still achieving success. If you want to learn about a prime
Just
example,
soulless
I
dick
covered the
eaters.
story of Costco and the interesting approach they've taken to capitalism. You can learn about it here. Thanks so much for watching.
What a great video. But this guy, the only thing I don't like about this video is
There's been a lot of talk online.
He let them off the hook in too many ways. He didn't need to do that. Like, they should be ashamed of that. I'll link you guys a video. Somebody needs to be talking about this shit. Established context. Context has, in fact, been established. There's the video. Give it a like. That's a great video. What's the fix for capitalism? Simple. You bring back the dollar menu. Like, and how does Trump not have an opinion on this? He eats as much fast food as I do. Like, how do you not, like, doesn't he notice? Like, because he's the kind of guy that probably does notice how much this shit is. He's a billion. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're no, because you feel like a fucking idiot when you're spending extra. Like, you guys, how many of you guys, you make plenty of money. You go eat wherever you want, doesn't matter. But you don't want to go places that overcharge because you feel stupid. You feel stupid. You feel like you're getting manipulated, like they're getting one over on you. Yes. I ain't a punk. I ain't no bitch. Exactly, yes. I bet he doesn't even know the price. Somebody in that administration needs to fucking tell him about this then. Because he's right. McDonald's is like, it is the core of America. It's like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, football, basketball, and Walmart. And that's pretty much about it. Like, you this is insane. Like, the $5 value meals are smaller than the old. Greedflation made me not want a fast food. Burger King restaurant had a meeting. District manager told us to fill less fries in the bag. You remember back in the day at Burger King whenever they used to put an onion ring in the top of your fries? Remember that? Who remembers that? They never do that. I don't think I don't know why people put up with this shit. And it's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't either. Yeah, like,